Hey y'all, I am Crystal Smith-Donathan and I'm here today to talk to you about relative adoption. Look around the room and studies say that at least 1 in 4 people in this room are involved with or have been involved with foster care or adoption. It's closer to home than most of us realize. It seems as though it is mostly thought of as an inner city problem, but it's not. It affects small towns just as often, especially since we have so many drug-addicted persons in our small communities and large cities alike. Do you know someone that was in the foster care or adoption system? Were they adopted, placed with a foster family? Do you know how important it is for a child in the system to be placed with family members as often as possible when they can't be with their parents? It is important, and it is a subject very close to my heart. I have multiple family members that have been part of the foster care system for a long time. My 2 brothers have been a part of the foster care system for many years, in which my parents took them in and are now flourishing. I also have a child in the foster care system that my husband and I have had custody of for the past 18 months with the intention to adopt. This child is our great niece. She is 5 years old. She is very important to us, and she really rounds out our family and makes it perfect. Can't imagine her not just being here. This is something that everyone should know a little bit about because it is very important that our children get taken care of properly. Who knows when it's going to be you or a member of your family that might need relative adoption. Relative adoption is what I'm here to talk to you about today. The importance of adopting a child in the foster care system or otherwise is great in our country. Due to the drug epidemic in this country, our children are the ones struggling and becoming victims. We as a country need to stand up and take control of the situation to keep these children from becoming like their parents and adding on to the growing drug epidemic in our country, state, and cities alike. One of the greatest reasons, in my opinion, to adopt a child is, of course, to make sure that their physical needs are met as food, water, clothing, shelter, as well as, of course, you have to make sure they're fed and that their mental health is also nourished and to help them grow into morally sound, intelligent members of society. A big portion of that is stability for the child, a place where they feel safe and secure, loved, and have a place that makes them feel important and a chance at a great life. The best place for a child in the foster care system is to be placed with a relative or close friend, to someone they already know, so that they can build a relationship that has the history together and they aren't losing everyone and everything they know when they are going into foster care. A child already knowing and having a relationship with their relative placement or foster parents, as most say, is allowing the child to be a step ahead of those in non-relative placement. They already trust the people that are going to take care of them. They already know that they are loved in most cases. It is a step in recovery for the child. They know the person taking care of them. They know they are loved. That is the most important step of relative adoption. Knowing that they are loved and will be taken care of for no other reason than simply for who they are. Showing love and comfort to a child can change their way of seeing the world. If they are loved, they will also love others. Another thing that is very important is making sure that the children's physical needs are also met. They will need daily water, shelter, food, clothing, exercise, and of course, what kid doesn't want toys to play with? Let's be honest. There are many children who do not have access to these things, and we take these for granted daily. Our children get to play with them where most do not. The children not only need to have food and an opportunity to eat what they want within reason. I mean, let's just let them eat chocolate all day, every day. But give them a balanced meal to the best of your ability. This may be hard. Goodness knows I struggle with it daily. Between soccer games, school, work, sometimes our dinners aren't always balanced the way we would like them to be. We try to make them as nutritional as possible. But hey, after a game and you win your soccer game, why not go out and celebrate with an ice cream? Children love that. Something to make them happy. It is also important that the relative placement, the child feels love and leads to a feeling of security. In most cases, children in the foster care system often feel unloved and scared in the new environment, as they have every right to do so. I can't imagine going to someone's house I don't know, or even if I do, someone who I know well but I haven't spent the most amount of time with. Could be a very scary feeling. But when you're in the care of someone you love and trust, it's easy to settle into the day-to-day routine. And ease that allows the child to relax and feel safe from harm, whether it be physical or psychological, because psychological needs include the feeling of safe, secure, and loved. In most cases, children have been through a lot and have seen horrible things by the time they are put in relative care. Most often, they need therapy sessions to help work through their issues. These issues can include anger at parents, self, others who have harmed them in some way, either psychologically, physically, or sexually. It is important for a child in the foster care system to be loved and secure. That way they would with someone who already has their best interest at heart. They are more likely, to feel safer with the person. What would you do if it was a relative of yours? Would you simply stand idle and not help those because it's the easiest thing to do? I can tell you it's very stressful, hard, simply mind-numbing at times when having to go fight court battles, and parents who care but just aren't able to take care of the children either for drugs or just capabilities at all. Even though all of these things are true, in the end it is very worth the sleepless nights, the stress, and sometimes even heartache to see that those children you have saved flourish into something that they wouldn't without you. Never could have happened. The child who we have had has done a complete 180-degree change from the child I first received. She has not only grown in physical appearance, but she has also changed her personality from the scared, bad-behaved little girl into a sweet, happy, thriving child. Just look at her. She's doing amazing now. She has such a better perspective on life and is doing so much better. She is no longer homeless. She has someone who loves and cares about her and her safety. She feels secure in her environment. And at this point, I cannot imagine life without her. In our home, in our hearts. Our family dynamic has completely changed in the best way possible. In closing, the children of our community and our country need our attention. Without it, many of them will not live good lives. Instead, living in a life of poverty, depravity, because it is possibly the only thing that they have ever known or will know. Unless we as citizens stand up to do the right thing, adoption is great, but relative adoption is the greatest gift we can give a child in need. They already know you, they have a history with you, and they can find love and happiness with you much easier than with a stranger. Physically, psychological needs are big factors when adopting a child. We must do whatever we can to make sure they are met in the adoption. Because with the adoption, we are saving the lives of future generations. I want to leave you with one question. Will you stand idly by, or will you stand up for relative adoption and take care of those children in your families that need you? I hope you take this into consideration and think hard and maybe possibly adopt a child in need. Thank you. Have a good day.